Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for another leg day, and we started off with box squats. And again, adjusted my footing just a little bit based upon the footage from last week hitting that 500. I realized I could probably maximize like my knee and ankle stacking just a little bit. So I brought my stance in just a hair while still keeping the toes out. And I feel like, yeah, looking at this, I feel like the stacking is a little bit better. And I think when we got up to the 500 here, we could definitely see that. So again, just trying to make sure I'm really getting my levers down good. I want to build that power, build that strength back up, get my squat real strong. Even though, again, everything is mostly bodybuilding at this point, we still want to be strong. You know, I still want to squat well over 500. I still want to deadlift 600 plus. I mean, maybe one day we'll even get the bench to 405, but you know, I'm not going to hold my breath on that. I'm just going to keep pounding away at my upper body, get my chest and shoulders and arms and everything more jacked, and we'll see where that goes. But, you know, even then, I feel that's pretty respectable. I do work sets with 315 paused. So here we go, a little bit better stacking, right? A little bit better stacking, a little bit better hip drive through there. That was obviously heavy. I don't feel like I had much more in the tank. You know, again, that was super close to a max, if not a max. Although it was smooth, it wasn't grindy, had good speed. So I did a little bit of back down work, and then I jumped over to the machines. I didn't do any speed boxes today. I feel like I don't really need them at this point, because just heavy box squatting itself has such a large rate of force production component. So again, we'll see how all this goes now that I've cut carbs back a bit, because I need the waistline to tighten up. I need to look leaner. I need to look tighter. But we need to keep gaining muscle, keep gaining strength. So again, it's going to be body recomposition, focusing on all these things. So I went ahead and did a back down and just did a double with 410. I thought about doing several of these, but I'm like, not quite feeling it today. You know, it just didn't feel good. Like right there, I'm kind of like, I'm starting to get, some axial fatigue at this point. Keeping in mind, we did some really serious deadlifting this week, right? We did a 550 for a triple, and then did multiple sets of 500 for reps afterwards. So again, don't want to overdo those things. But the box squats themselves, I always feel like I need a little back down work. So for these belt squats, we went up, right? I went up a little bit. I went up and put another 25 pounds on there. So now we're up there to 290 on these. So again, we're getting to some fairly heavy weight, and definitely was feeling the tension on these, right? So a lot of what I'm doing more and more, I realize I just need nice, moderate, good volume. And if I want more training volumes, again, I'm going to keep training 6 days. Shoulders are going to get doubled down still. I think I'm going to keep doing shoulders twice a week. But most of my stuff, around 12 sets. Quads, a little less. I just did 10 sets of quads today. But here's the thing. I did 4 sets of deadlifts this week. Conventional deadlifts do work your quads. Okay, so we need a context for that. Does that count as quads? We can debate it. I think that we can. In fact, I think at the very least it's half sets. So I didn't feel like I needed huge amounts of it. Plus, I've been moderating the quad volume to just focusing on quality here and progressive overload, and we're back to box squatting 500 again. Keeping in mind, I was doing 12 sets of quads a week when I hit that 605 squat, years ago, right? Obviously with the cambered bar, and it wasn't to depth in my opinion. It was probably 3 inches high. But still, I didn't need huge amounts of volume, just quality volume. So I feel like right here, like 10 sets on the leg day seems to be a good number for me. So what we did with all that, I went up on weight. So I'm like, I wanted to increase tension. I did the same thing on these leg extensions. I put another plate on instead of, 15, I got 12s, right? I got 12s, and I did 5 sets of 12. But they felt good, right? I felt my quads working really hard on everything. So again, we're going to get a little more tension. A lot of my work is going to be a little more 6 to 8 stuff for a while. But it doesn't mean we don't do any higher rep stuff, right? So obviously things like my triceps, delts and things are going to get a bit more. Same here with calves. it's kind of hard to do super low. This first set was a little awkward. It didn't look great, but I went ahead and just went with 410. I'm like, let me just get some sets of 10 in, right? I can take calves down to 10. Of course, again, people don't like how I train my calves. Sometimes I had someone who didn't like me doing this exercise. Just, oh, this is just not effective. And I was like, okay, well, my calves will disagree, and that's okay. You can dislike it. I get a good stimulus. My calves get a good pump, all right? And there's where my legs are. I like to do like just a little shot for my quads after those because it's a good camera angle. But I think we can see here, especially in this lighting, I get up on the leg extension, we can tell that I've definitely gotten leaner around the waistline. Right? When the lighting is like that, you can see a lot of that better. Now, do I still have fat and loose skin I need to lose there? Yeah. But I mean, we could see all my intercostals and stuff a bit there when I climb up there. I got all those veins in my quads. Like I said, I need to continue to get leaner. I need to tighten that up. I really need that love handle and flank area. That's really where I need to tighten up. And there's no way to target that. I just have to lose body fat, right? But I feel like it's because of the previous weight loss and having been over 300 pounds. You're going to have loose skin, and so you're going to have some weird fat storage areas. But once you get that fat burned off, you're in a good place. It's not that I even want to be super shredded. I don't want to be contest lean. I'm just looking for that golden era look, but I've got to get lean enough to burn that stuff down and then tighten that up. And until that happens, just the way it's going to be. So certain parts of my body might get really, really shredded just in the effort to do that. But once that's off, and then it tightens up, that those fat cells will distribute a little more evenly later, right? It'll get distributed better, just as the skin gets tighter over time. I just have to keep getting leaner. All right, leg extensions of the thing I've been saying for a while, like lay back on these, you'll get better activation. And yes, I'm aware that I don't get a super deep stretch because of the nature of this particular device of what I have to use for the leg extensions, but it works and I get a lot of quad activation. And again, my quads have been growing, right? I've got pretty big legs. My strength is going up, so I'll take all of it, But we're really getting a few different angles between the box squats and the belt squats really give me my deepest stretch. And then those leg extensions, they end up being a slightly more mid-range and contraction. But we can use all those things. They're all beneficial, right? They're all beneficial. So did my 3 sets of 10 on the calf raises with 410. I got a really, really good calf burn on that. And that's enough, right? That's enough for calves because all this other stuff works calves. People forget that your squats, deadlifts, all those things work them. So then I finished up with a couple more sets of leg extensions and then my set of hanging leg raises. Because again, the same thing, get leaner and as all that tightens up, if I just have nice big abs, it'll still fill a lot of that in, right? It'll fill a lot of it in. So again, just working around some of that, getting leaner for the loose skin. And I always remind that when people bring that silly nonsense up of the surgeries, it's like, just lose the fat. You don't need those surgeries. Like, it's because you didn't get lean enough. And there's no reason to take months and months off lifting and all that over that. It's just silly, right? Just silly. Like, I personally can't afford to take off from lifting. It's not viable to my mental health, my career, or anything, So just lose the body fat until it gets where you need it. It's tightened up substantially. So I did all that, did my hanging leg raises and called it a day, and I'll come in and do shoulders tomorrow. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.